So today I'm going to be doing the first part of my trading series. So this is going to be a longer video, so please bear with me. I want to make this comprehensive and helpful, and this is kind of a complex value system. It is ever changing and can be extra difficult. So the items we're talking about today are going to be pet specific items. So these are the items that come with a pet when they are adopted. So here are a couple right off the bat. They usually have something to do with the pet. They're usually like some of the more fun and interactive items, and they can be a lot more valuable because of that. Another important factor of this item is that these are items that are only ever going to be available with like very, very minor exceptions through adopting a pet. So these are kind of the equivalent of the $6, $8, $10, $12 that you pay to adopt a pet in Webkinz world. So they are one of the more valuable items. The way people usually trade PSIs are it is going to be a pet specific item for a pet specific item. However, it breaks down a lot within there, and there's going to be subcategories as well. So that is what we're going to go through today and really explain some of the complexity of it, some of the more desirable ones, what makes it more desirable, and all that. So we're going to get down to it. We're going to explain it all. Let's get into it. Okay. What I'm going to be using to begin is the Webkinz guide of pet-specific items. So this will kind of help orient me and give you guys an idea of the best of the different categories. So the first category of Webkinz pets I want to discuss and pet specific items are going to be the Webkinz classic pets. So these are the pets that have been available in plush form. They've been around for a while. They are available in plush codes and on the e-store, and are usually on the cheaper end of Webkinz items. So these vary in valuability, of course. It's going to depend on how long they've been out, how popular these pets are, and how desirable the PSI is. So, for example, we're scrolling through. Some of these are newer and some of these are more classic. So, like a really good example of a classic one is the pink pony. This is popular. It's going to be a very popular pet. A lot of people have the pink pony just by nature of the fact it's been around for a while. Similarly, we have the black and chrome paw stove. This is the black and white cheeky dog, and another little quirk of this is that Lil Kins and regular Kins have the same PSI item, so that makes them even more popular. Another little quirk are the birds. So there are a couple different birds. So we have like the budgie, the robin, there's the chickadee. I'm going to scroll down and see if I can find it. And these are some of the cheapest pets you can get on the Webkinz e-store. These can be like 5,000 points or less depending on the sale. So that makes these especially available. So these are going to be the lowest class of Webkinz classic pets. So that is where you should begin. These are going to be the most accessible, the easiest to get, the most common. Within this, there are going to be other sort of aspects of it. So pets that were especially rare in plush form, have not been on the e-store for a while, or are just from somewhat undesirable pets, tend to be rarer. And then some PSIs are going to be more valuable just by nature of what they are. People collect swings, people collect pools, people like holiday items, people like vehicles. So these make the pets, or the PSI, a little more rare. So that is the first sort of category. We are going to move on to Webkinz' next pets. So these ones are going to be a little rare because these are more expensive and they are available on the eStore, and you get both a Webkinz Next pet and PSI and a Webkinz pet and PSI. In my opinion, these are some of the uglier pets, so I'm not a huge fan of the pets themselves, but that to me makes the PSI even more valuable because I am not going to get that PSI without trading because I'm not adopting these. So these are another facet. I would say that these are definitely a step above Webkinz Classic and even eStore pets, but yeah, we're going to move on to eStore pets. So eStore pets are interesting. They are what I'm classifying as eStore pets are going to be pets that are not available in plush form whatsoever. There are plush pets that are available on the eStore. They're codes, but that is not what we are referring to here because those are going to be considered plush pet items. So eStore pets are only available virtually. So these are pets like the amethyst pup, all the birthstone items, all the zodiac pets. There's a lot of fun ones, little spring ones, little Halloween ones, Christmas, etc. So these are actually going to be around the same value as the Webkinz Classic pets, maybe above depending on the rarity of them. So again, we're going to have the same aspects of desirability. People collect the birthstone stuff, people collect the zodiac ones. I tend to find that the eStore pets are just more valuable. They tend to be more expensive. They're less popular because you can't get them on like Mercari or anything, but you can also get really good deals. Like I'm pretty sure Candykins were once available for like $3, so there's going to be a range, but I would say that these are mostly equivalent to Webkinz Classic pets, but potentially a step above just given the desirability of these pets. Also, eStore pets do not come with like a plush, so if you are buying everything full price, these don't come with a plush, so you would think that would make the PSI or like the pet itself less valuable, maybe the PSI more valuable. I don't know, just things to consider. But I tend to think of these as maybe a step above a classic Webkinz pet. So that is going to be the next step. We have a bunch of fun ones. Again, I think eStore in particular, there are going to be ones that are more desirable. Anything that's new is always desirable because everyone wants the new pets. Anything that is like a pool, goes with a theme, Christmas stuff, seeds, all things people like to collect. So keep that in mind. That's going to increase in valuability. And yeah, again, rarity, also something to keep in mind, but not much to be done there. Next up, we have something that gets a little complex. These are called promo eStore pets. So the way that these pets were available is that it was a promotional item. So if you bought 60,000 points, you got this pet. If you bought 100,000 points, you got this pet. Things like that. Sometimes it only comes with deluxe memberships. Sometimes it comes in like a bundle. Things like that. They're not accessible just through buying it, and they're not available all the time. This is where it gets very complex because it is going to, if you are going at just value itself, you have to start considering when was the last time these were available. The longer it was available, the more rare it is, the less likely that a lot of people have it. It was a one-time availability versus it's back like all the time in one of the pet boxes or super pet packs. You also have to consider the price value of the promotion. Was it 30,000 points? Was it 60,000 points? Was it 100,000 points? Was it 1,000 points? There is a variability because we do get into some of the Sophie's Choice pets. You are also going to find that some of the deluxe pets are very popular, especially if it was a promotion to get a pet with a deluxe membership during one of the 50% off sales. So any deluxe pet that was available on Black Friday or January or even Black Friday, I think they do like Christmas in July, sometimes there's a sale. Those are going to be more popular pets, and a lot of people are going to have that. So scrolling through to just point those out, a lot of people have the winter otter because in 2023 that was the January pet. So a lot of people got that pet. Continuing to look through, another really popular pet for renewal was not finding it, but it was the Peace Bear. So that was a really popular one. A lot of people have that when it came to renewal. You know, what can you do? Same with the baby axolotl. So here's the Peace Bear. The baby axolotl a lot of people got just because, again, it was a Black Friday pet. So that is something to keep in mind. Along with promotional pets, there are some very unique ones. So there are the Sophie's promo, which you have to spend about $1,000 at the e-store to get this code. So it can be pretty expensive to get. Those are definitely the rarest because you have to spend that in the e-store on your account and build up that amount. There's also the like 1 day only sort of pets that they do. Those are called let's scroll down to find them. These are the Moonlight pets, so they've done them a couple years in a row, and these are very rare. These are 1 day only, like $500, things of that nature. There are some pets that are also considered promotional now, but they were once available in other settings. So, for example, I'm like scrolling to find them. The Wintermint reindeer was a Webkinz staff pet, along with I think it is the Sweet Tooth Tiger. That was another staff pet that only staff got codes to, and then it ended up being released as a promotional pet. But again, this does go back to the idea that this is based on the amount that promotional item was available for. So I think that's a really good idea way to help yourself out, is just be aware of the different promotional items and how much it costs to get that promotional item in the first place. Even though it comes with points, like that value is kind of attached to the pet itself, and can increase or decrease. So for example, the Mystical Panda, I believe, was a like trading card exclusive pet, but now it's also available in pet medallions, so that changes it too. Also, a lot of these pets come back around, which definitely changes it. You might think it's a 1 day only sort of pet, and then they come back, so that also adds to it. I think we're at the point in Webkinz world where things are so likely to come back that it is not worth expecting something to only be available one time only, unless they explicitly say it will be. So I do believe they do that every like Black Friday. They're like, this is a one time only pet, and I would say you can depend on that, but otherwise, like, just expect it will come back. If not for a regular promotion, for like the Webkinz 20-year anniversary that's coming up, I imagine some really rare pets will be back. And yeah, I also think that the Webkinz guide page is really, really helpful for all of this. You can see like the promotions that were attached to it and kind of get a good idea of how much it cost originally. But yeah, we're going to keep moving forward. So this is where it gets a little dicey. So Rockers pets technically cost a bit more, and they come with a like PSI and then a clothing item, like clothing set with it. So Rockers items tend to be worth a little more. A lot of people would trade Rockers items for another Rockers item or a signature PSI or something maybe a little more desirable. But these are also like, there just haven't been that many Rockers pets, and they've been around for so long that these have tended to become very popular. So take that as you may. The Rockers clothing items are definitely not worth a full PSI, especially if it's not a full set. Like, it is not going to be desirable. And some of these are pretty popular, so I've definitely seen these going around in the trading room, but Rockers tend to be a little bit above a classic or e-store PSI, and it is kind of just what you make of it. Next up we have Signature. So Signature also tend to be a bit more expensive. There is going to be a difference between Signature and small Signature, so it's important to just understand. Similarly with Signature, some Signature PSI have been around for a long time and are very popular, and some of them are available on the pet medallion. So those are not going to be super valuable because you can get those free of cost, technically. So just scrolling through, Signature are going to be worth a little more. You probably wouldn't trade a Signature for a regular item unless it is a very low value Signature. To point out some low value signatures, in general, no one's going to in the trade room, it's all going to be up to you, but the yellow Labrador Retriever bed is not super valuable. There are a lot of them around. I feel like the Around the World plane is very popular. I see that a lot. Even the panda, popular. So yeah, just keep that in mind, but typically Signature pets go for other Signature pets PSI. Then we have small Signature. I'm just going to skip to these. These are less expensive than full Signature and are thus a little less valueless. So you will see these a lot more in the trade rooms and will just not be as valuable. I would probably say that when it comes down to it in the trade room, people will be willing to trade this PSI for a regular PSI, but some people might not see these as equal value, just given the price difference. Probably the most rare of the Signature pets are the endangered Signature pets. So these were originally released, I believe, in a effort to raise money for endangered pets. So they were the most expensive of the plushes. I think they're the nicest. Obviously no longer being made and just not as popular. So these also are sold on the e-store, but are also at that higher price point. So these tend to be the rarest of the Signature, the most valuable. I would say people would trade maybe a endangered pet for a lower promo pet, obviously not a promo like Sophie's Choice promo, but maybe just a regular promotional pet. And yeah, these tend to be kind of nature related, which is also fun. So now that we've gone through the categories, I'm going to kind of go through my PSI collection and just kind of show you what I think of them and how I would class them. Yeah, this might take a while, but I just think it's helpful, so let's go through them. So the first item we have is the Ancient Dig Site. This is a Signature item. It is also a kind of cool item. I don't see it a lot, and it is just kind of interesting and fits into unique themes. So I find this to be a higher value Signature item. Don't put it up for trade for just anyone. But yeah. Next we have the Arctic Ice Spa. This is a endangered Signature pet, and it is popular theme. It's animated. It's beautiful. Could fit in a lot of different themes. So I find this one to be very valuable. It's also an endangered Signature, and I really do not see this often, so this is probably one of my higher value items. Next up we have the Argent Armoire. This is actually a regular pet item, however, I don't see this anywhere. This is a pretty rare PSI I see often, so raises in value, but is still probably a e-store or regular PSI available. Next we have the Autumn Patio Pit. This is a regular e-store pet, however it is a newer one and a pretty basic one. I feel like it fits in a lot of rooms, so tends to be higher value, but maybe just more so for getting a rarer PSI along with it. Next up we have this let's see what it's called. This is called the Baker's Oven. This is a really cute item. It's kind of like a gingerbread stove, and it's I don't know, it just is a really cute item. So while this is a just regular pet, no real value here, it is kind of a higher desired one just because it is a cool PSI. So next up we have this Baroque chest of drawers. This is another rare pet. I think just by nature of the pet itself is not super desirable, but I love it. And I would say that this, to me, is a rare PSI. It probably wouldn't trade super successfully in the trade room unless somebody knows the value of it, because it's just, there's not a lot going on to it. It's a pretty basic PSI. So obviously at the end of the day, PSI's value is based on who wants it. So the next pet we have is the Bird Bath Spa. So this is actually a kind of unique PSI in the sense that this was like re-released as a promo because it is a quote-unquote retired pet, the pink cockatoo. So you have to look into that too, because sometimes retired pets are not really retired. So yeah, hard to tell. Next up we have the Webkinz Cat Trick Trampoline. So this is fun because it is like a item you can use, but it is super cheap, super available, and not super valuable. One of my rarest PSI is this Cheeky Dog Grill. I apologize. So the reason this is rare is that the Cheeky Dog was one of the first pets to be retired by Webkinz. I would just kind of get that in your head. It's like the Cheeky Dog, Cheeky Cat, and I think the Pegasus maybe are like one of the few retired pets that actually like maintained their value because they have not been released like regularly again. So yeah, this is an example of one. It comes out as a promo pet. It is very rare. People, really find a lot of value in it, but yeah, obviously not much going on, but for like trading purposes, this is an exciting one. I do imagine it'll come back for Webkinz Day 20. Then we have this like lunar swing. This is desirable in the sense that it's cool. It is, in my opinion, not the best designed PSI because it just like sits there, but it is a really cool PSI. So now that we've gone through a couple of these, I'm going to scroll through and just see if I can find any like unique ones that would be worth discussing. I would say that this cream soda one tends to be valuable just because it's a cool design. It is a cool item. People love like retro looking ones, animated stuff, things like that. So that just always makes it a little more desirable on how cool the PSI is itself. Continuing to scroll through, this is a newer pet, so that tends to be more desirable just by nature of the fact not everyone has it. There's also going to be some glitch pets that you will just notice that there are some PSI that are very popular, and it is because some pets have been glitched and were available for really cheap for no reason, which is kind of a shame, but that's another thing to just be aware of. This is a unique PSI, so this is the Hopping Bunny PSI, which was a promotion for Hop. I believe it's been available in the e-store since the original data came out, because originally it was very rare, but I believe it's been available again. It was a free pet, so this PSI is kind of not super valuable, but the fact that it has been like probably maybe almost 10 years since it came out, that it kind of has regained its value and is a really cool collector's item. This is an example of a regular e-store pet that is extra valuable because this is a really cool item. So many people do like witch rooms, like love rooms, Valentine's Day rooms. This fits in everywhere, so this is a valuable PSI in the sense that a lot of people want it. So that is just me reiterating why some of these are super valuable. Continuing to scroll through, see if there's anything super unique. This is another example I feel as something you don't see in the trade room often, and is just a pretty cool designed item. Very unique. Clouds, people love clouds, people love pink. In that sense, it is probably not going to be trading for just another regular PSI. Here's a really good example of a PSI that is not super valuable, despite the fact this is a virtual only pet. This is one of the medallion pets PSIs, and since that means it is available free of charge, it is not super valuable, at least in my mind. Obviously they are difficult to get, but I just don't think they're valuable at all. let's continue scrolling. I think we've covered most things here. People love food items, people love booths, people love animated, like, it's all a matter of what you want. Okay, I think we have covered it all. So, big things to take away from this. I think the first and foremost is that when it comes to trading, it is all about what people want. It does not matter if you are pulling up and you are like, well, this PSI is exactly equal, because that is not going to make a difference if they already have it, if they don't want it, if they think it's ugly. That will determine it. I would say the other big determinant is how popular an item is. Again, just because this is technically a e-store item does not mean people will see it as equal value to another e-store item if it is constantly available in the trade room, if it is an ugly item, if it is a item that glitched out. You have to understand that it's going to be more available and just thus not as rare. I think that is always going to be the baseline of the trading, at least with experienced traders, is I am trading my items because I am trying to get a rarer item. With so many items, you can just wait and get it in a while. So finding an item that is truly rare that not a lot of people have, by nature of the fact the pet is not accessible anymore, the pet is not desirable, the PSI is very desirable, makes that value in the trading room higher. You cannot reason with people based on what they want, so, just kind of take it in stride. You will also pick up on everything as you go. I come across PSI I don't recognize all the time, and that is often when I want to trade for it, because that means that it is not it is not an overly available, it is not a PSI I already have or a lot of people already have. So yeah, I think that's just something to keep in mind. And also I would encourage you to not be super hard on yourself if you make a bad trade. I do it all the time. I also don't think you can be perfect about it when it comes down to it. Sometimes you really want an item and you are not going to get that item without maybe trading a little more than you would like for it. And that's just how it works. When people have items, they can charge more for it because that is how supply and demand goes about. But I just encourage you guys to try your best to not get taken advantage of. But I also do want to make the clarification that getting quote-unquote taken advantage of is obviously very possible, but at the end of the day, if you find the item valuable and the other person doesn't, and you have found a trade that you feel is fair, you are not being taken advantage of. You've found a trade that you like. It is all about finding the time and place in person. Sometimes someone has the most common item, but I need it. And because they know I need it and they don't want anything else, I would have to trade a ton for it. So it's just a matter of, am I willing to make that trade, or am I willing to take the risk I might never see it again? So don't be too hard on yourself. This is a children's game. It's supposed to be fun. I think it's a really great children's game, and it has such a breadth of items that it allows for some really great trading opportunities, but it's going to vary. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to probably make this into a series, and we'll see how it goes. I think PSI is the easiest to start with, but there is so much more to it. So let me know what you guys think of this video, and I'll see you next time.